Tell your neighbor, marriage must be honored by all. Marriage must be honored by all as an eternal covenant. Marriage. This is not something that must be taken lightly. When you say it, I do, it is not until something happens that displeases you and lead you into divorce. Let not anything deprive you of happiness. Marriage itself ought to be a place of comfort. Marriage itself ought to be a place of intimacy. That's why Adam and Eve were both naked, yet they were not ashamed. It's a place of procreation with intimacy. Enjoy it, of pleasure. It is a gift of God. Marriage is a gift of God. For this is the relationship that God officiated over. Marriage. For we see the divine presence in marriage, in that God brought Eve to Adam. And he continued to be in fellowship with them, walking about in the garden, where he got to know them and they got to know him. A companionship. For marriage must bring companionship. It must deal away with loneliness. Adam was lonely until Eve came. For with women, they can stay for many years without a man. Not so with a man. That's why the Lord said, it is not good for men to stay alone. Man is excited when he sees a woman. That's why Job says, I've made a covenant with my eyes not to look at a young woman lustfully. For by their very nature, women are attractive. They are what? Attractive to men. Men are attracted to women. That's why, in this, in that Psalms 144, it said the young men are like nurtured plants, and the young women, they are like pillars of carvings to adorn the palace. No, that's Psalms 144 from verse 12. Pillars of carvings. 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 Okay. Come. Stand up. My brother, come. Just stand there on the side. Which one would you say was just a natural plant, a plant which is just and then which one would you look at? Which one?
The woman.
The woman?
Yes.
Do you agree? Okay, you know what, I thank you. Women, don't cry. No matter what it is, you are still going to be attracted to someone because of the way God created you. Okay, let's read that Psalm 144. This is what the Lord desires: for marriage to be a source of happiness, a source of companionship, a source of passion, a source of intimacy. Remember, it is a lifetime commitment. It is a covenant that you cannot just move out of. Only by death can one do so. For when the other spouse is no longer bound according to the law, he or she is released from her vows. But as long as the other party is still alive, if you divorce and you remarry, as long as the other party is still alive, you will be committing adultery, and you cause the other to also commit adultery. Only through death. If you divorce and you want to remarry, you have to wait until the other dies. Question is, others will question, what if I marry a divorcee? Am I committing adultery? Are you a divorcee yourself? If you are not a divorcee, I would imagine the one committing adultery is the one who divorced and not yourself. It's between the two divorcees. And others will ask as well to say, what if I'm a second wife? The word of God says, he who marries a second wife must ensure that he does not deprive the first wife of her rights. Right to food, right to clothes, and right to marital, the conjugal rights. Marital rights, the intimacy, sexual intimacy should not be what? Deprived. That's what the word says. In that book of Exodus 21 from verse 10. So being a second wife is not adultery if it's proper marriage, not small house, but proper what? Marriage. And no leader of a church up to deacon, like usher, you cannot have two wives. Those who divorce, unless it be for adultery or where there is a believer and an unbeliever. If an unbeliever chooses to walk away, then you are released. You are not bound by that relationship. So when the unbeliever chooses to walk away, you are freed from that covenant. That book of 1 Corinthians 7, if you read from verse 1 on, but particularly verse 3, which says, you must not deprive each other of their marital rights. Polygamy ought to be by consent by the wife. The wife who is there ought to say, yes, my husband, I think you can get another wife. Otherwise, you will infringe on her rights. In other words, if you divorce, in the sight of God, that one that you divorced is still your husband. And that one that you divorced is still your wife. Why? Because of the covenant. And covenant is not just a mere piece of paper. Marriage. It's not just merely by signing a piece of paper. No. For whatever God has joined, no man can put aside or separate. No, Matthew 19 from verse 6. For it is through marriage that we continue to advance the plan of God for mankind. Marriage must be honored by all. Tell your neighbor, marriage must be honored by all. It is a gift of God. For God honors marriage more than anything else. This is the reason why He officiated on the first marriage. We ought to make every effort to ensure that God presides over our marriage. For there are two who supposedly ought to build the house: God and the wife. Women, just tell one next to you, say, I'm a suitable helper. Tell them again, I'm a suitable helper. And you men, tell the one next to you, I need a helper. I need a suitable helper. But you ought to cherish that helper when they come into your life. That's why the Lord says, love your wife as you love yourself. Love your wife. For when the helper comes, you must appreciate the helper. You must embrace the helper. There must be a oneness. When they make their efforts, you need to notice them also. With men, all you need is the key. You know, a vehicle, unless a vehicle is run down. A vehicle, can you say, no, you cannot start me? When everything is perfect. You just put the key on key. It what? Does it say no? But it will just, it what? It starts, isn't it? It what? It what? It starts. So is the case with men. You have got the key, women. You have got what? The key. When the husband is okay, in good health, you have got the key. When the car is there, it's just for you to go and what? And crank it. And it what? There's nothing like it can't with men. Tell your neighbor, there's nothing like it can't with men. That's why the seduction power is not with men, but with who? With women. It is with what? With women. But you young ones, don't attempt it until you get into marriage. I see she's looking at me.
Yes. Yes.
Speak up.
Yes. Yes.
These are for those who have been brought to the man by God. You ought to pray for God to ensure that you are located. You know, there's a song of Solomon where he says, let us drink love all night. Who knows where it is, this song of Solomon? It's some songs, which one? Who knows where it is? Look for it. Just read that whole book of Songs of Solomon. It's beautiful. It's what? Beautiful. Read it throughout. You'll enjoy it. Are you living your life? You know, like when it's natural for women to be pregnant, for instance. That's why even from a rape case, pregnancy can also come. Have we not heard that those who have been raped, they ended up being pregnant? But the question is the pregnancy a result of passion, romance, intimacy, or it just came? Women can be great pretenders. God is saying, I know, I'm just being told to say these things. Don't laugh at me. Women can be what? Great pretenders. Just like, those of the street. Don't be like the women of the street who can sleep with many men on a day. Why? Because there's no intimacy. A prostitute can have one man after the other. Is there intimacy there? Is there, is there romance there? Is there love there? No. So where there are no feelings, it makes you no different from a wayward woman. Where there's mere pretense, It makes no difference. It makes you no different from the wayward woman. Remember, even when you meet, God is watching. There's no way where you say, now we are doing a shameful act where God is not. God is watching. Even when you are between your blankets, God is what? Is watching. He sees your every move, for He examines your heart and He sees that you are doing it. I gave you this gift as a pleasure, as a source of pleasure, but you are despising it. Huh? It's a gift of God that even where there's anger, anger goes after that. And you know that even blood pressure can go with that. Okay, Ness, is there a Ness here? Ness, come. Oh, Ness. Do you have an Ness here? I ran. Here. I want you to explain to us.
I never heard the question well.
Huh? I said, when they meet, yes, what happens?
When you meet as husband and wife,
from a Ness point of view, what are the benefits?
The benefits, you get relieved, stress-free.
You say what? Stress-free, huh?
Yes. Even if you are sick, you get healed.
Even if you are sick?
Yes.
Now this one is a new one. What do you mean?
Let's say you have got a headache. Then you meet as husband and wife.
No, look there. Don't look at me.
Example, if you have got a headache, then if you meet as husband and wife, you get healed.
How can that be?
It's nature.
Nature.
That's how it is.
How God created.
Yes.
What else happens?
And love will increase.
Love will increase.
Yes.
The bond will increase.
Husband and wife will increase.
The bond will increase.
Yes.
The oneness will increase.
Yes. All the systems will be well. Yes.
All the systems will be well.
Yes.
All the systems. Provided it's out of love.
Yes.
Love.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just one of those things,
if it is the wife who pretends,
nothing. Actually worse.
Worse.
You come out of it worse.
To be worse. Because most women, they pretend.
Speak up.
Women will pretend most of the time.
Pretend like yourself. No, I'm not like yourself. Sometimes.
It once happened.
It once happened.
Yes.
What makes them pretend? Okay, when it happened, what it happened?
Maybe it was spiritual wives and spiritual husbands.
Spiritual wives, spiritual husbands. You heard what she said. The oneness is what God is seeking in marriage, where husband and wife are one, even as God is one, and where we seek to be one with God. The one thing that God gave men and women to enjoy is marriage, where He says it ought to be honored by us. It must be what? Honored by you and me. Where there's a union, He talks of oneness only in two areas: oneness with God and oneness between husband and wife. We, husband and wife, oneness in the flesh. Oneness in the what? In the flesh. With God, oneness in the spirit. Oneness in the flesh, it is only attained when husband and wife come together. Desire to be married, to be married. It is God's plan for the woman to be asked for in marriage. That's what God says. And for her to bear children. And the young widows, get married again and enjoy. Let not the departed steal your joy. Because your heart is with God. It was your body that was with other men, where you were one with him. But marry, get married. Get married and bear children. But where you pray, because you get married in the Lord. In the Lord. Meaning, you just ask God for you to be located, as he says in his word, so that you settle down again. But when they come, they must pay lobola full. Then you go in. And your husbands, you must establish your rights by paying lobola. Pay lobola. And you wives, ensure you adapt to your husbands. Notice your husband. Reverence your husband. Respect your husband. Submit to him. No matter what he is, you consented to him marrying you, and therefore you are in it. Be a suitable helper. Ensure that all the areas that he exhibits weaknesses, it is not you who seeks to criticize, insult him, and all. Remember, he is the head, and you are the body. As Christ is the head of the church, so are you with your husband. Respect him as the head. He is your head. Respect him. Respect your husband. Reverence him. Notice him. Admire him exceedingly. Give him praise. It doesn't matter what he is. You know, you are number one, my husband. You are what? You are number one. He will think, why does my wife say I'm number one? Often we get offended by those things that we find our husband doing. You know, you got into marriage when he was a drunkard and he was doing what he was doing. Why then do you get married to him? But now you are in. Compliment his weaknesses. You are a suitable helper to get him out of that clutch of the devil. It is up to you to play your role well. Husbands, ensure you love your wives. Wives, ensure you exceedingly admire your husband. This will happen. That's his desire to buy anything. You have never heard those promises that come out. They come. What would you have done when those promises come? What would you have done? Okay. When do you normally get these promises?
They normally come when he does something that is not.
I am saying, when normally do you get the husband promising?
I was saying he does something that is unbecoming, and I do exceedingly well beyond his expectations.
Like what? What do you do especially?
It starts from the meals, the admiration.
Then the ultimate will be where?
Intimacy.
Intimacy.
Yes.
In intimacy, that's where the bonding is. That's where the bonding is. That's where the bonding grows. Because if it be for all the other things, you can hire a maid. But one cannot hire a maid for intimacy. Because she has got the key. May God bless you. May bless his word.